so perfect in every way. But in the night, I hear a young girl crying. She's got it all. She's got it made. She's a looker. That's what they say. She's got it all. Yeah, she's got it made. She's a looker with a beautiful face. Always on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another DDLive number 88. Holy crap, before you know it, we'll be at 100. Looker! Did you guys catch the Looker review? Let me tell this thing. Man, I was freaking, like, obsessed with this song over probably the last couple of weeks. I guess I call the gathering when I'm starting to review something and I have to, like, gather all the information about it. I watch the movie, I become obsessed with the movie, I put the review out, and then, you know, I leave it behind me. I move on to the next thing. But that song, it's really stayed with me. I love this song. It's so good. I love music. I love you guys. How are you guys doing today? Let me take this off. I'm very careful about what music I can play on here too, because, with the copyright, you never know what you're going to get. Like, remember when I tried to play some Sleep Token? And my stream went down like immediately. It was crazy. So you gotta be careful. I know the Eagles, they're really bad about, like, you don't dare even like I probably owe them money just by saying the Eagles. Like, you don't even mention the Eagles. They get really, really pissed off if you play their music. All right. So Rosemary started a new job this week, and I'm so tired today. I worked today too. Oof. I was, you know what I did? I took me a nice little nap when I got home. You know, I had about, I got home at like 5:30. So if I do my math, and I was streaming, so I only had like an hour and a half, and I had to throw some like slides together. And, because we got a full show tonight, all right? But our main objective here is to promote this Indiegogo for the Crow. And this is the first Indiegogo, the first project that I'm a part of. I'm an associate producer on this. And today is the official launch. And I think it goes for like 35 days. But so I guess we're going to hit the ground running on this. But first, let me say my hellos. Vinny, what's up, Vinny? How you doing? James Leclerc, how you doing today? Love the Crow. I got a flask and the rooftop Nika figure. That's awesome. I actually have a Crow figure. I'm looking right at it right now. I'll show you in just a sec. Amber Hill, how are you doing? Joseph, the horror guy. Polly, how are you doing, Polly? I got to look for freaking road games, Polly, because I was thinking, man, I want to watch road games. I've been wanting to watch that forever. And I just pulled up normal Shutter and searched out road games. Couldn't find nothing. So maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe after this, I'll look and see if I can find it. Erica, how are you doing? Oisku, Jimmy Kisco, Robert Schumann, how are you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Gory Tiger, yeah. Kin Dog, Charlotte, how are you doing, Charlotte? Thank you, Charlotte. I saw your topic suggestion on the Drumdums Extra. By the way, guys, Drumdums Extra, 800 and it's some change. I'm over 800 now. I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. You know, in a week. That's not bad, right? 800 in a week. And been getting a lot of you guys. Funny that, I'm getting more comments on Drumdums Extra than I am on Drumdums. Go figure. I am putting out more content, though. I got to admit. And every time I make content on Drumdums Extra, I post it in the community page of my main Drumdums page. So, you got to promote the fuck out of any new material when you're starting a new channel, and I kind of hinted on this last week when I had just started the channel that it's and this is like a side effect that I never expected, but I'm getting those little rushes that I got when I first started YouTube. 8 years ago. I'm getting those little rushes and feeling pretty, like every time I get a new subscriber, I'm like, ooh, it's like, it's pretty cool. And every time you get a new comment, so it's almost like being reborn again, which is weird. And, I still check my main channel constantly. Like I said, I posted my Looker review on there today. I'm sticking by my plan, posting stuff on there. But, clips, I think we're going to see, like after I get done with this, I'll probably have like 3 or 4 clips, and those are going to go on Extra. So Extra's probably going to get more content over time. But both channels will consistently get content. So that's cool. James Leclerc, this is a good question to start out with. When is the remake supposed to come out? You think next year for the 30th anniversary? I mean, this is a wild guess. I really don't have any kind of like insider information on the Crow remake that's coming out. Now, I can tell you, James Robar, who has our blessing on this, you're going to see a picture of him with Cody Falk. And he read the script, and he's like, he thinks it's a really good script. And he knows a little bit more than we all know about the remake that's coming out, okay? I'm not going to tell you if he likes it or not. And plus, the finished product is different than, we can speculate all we want, okay? But I think it's fair to judge it when it finally comes out. I think the thing that's really strange about it is that there's been no news on this movie whatsoever. I don't know if this is a strategy. I don't know if they're actually saying, hey, let's keep this close to the vest until maybe the 3-month time frame, because we don't even have like a release date, I don't think. After this, because I'll probably clip this part out, but after this, maybe I'll look and see if there is a release date, or if you guys want to look real quick, say Crow remake, Bill Skarsgård release date. If any of you guys want to look that up, maybe we can all learn together, because I would have assumed this October, but it's starting to get pretty late in the game, right? What is this? We're almost in July. So what is that? July, August, September, October. So we got 4 months. I don't know, but what? Stranger things have happened. I mean, you've had like freaking trailers drop for movies within like, a pretty quick amount of time before they come out. Remember when they did like that that Cloverfield Paradox? And that, like, nobody knew that it was coming out. And they just, boom, dropped it on, like, the Super Bowl day. It was very weird. And the movie was weird. But, it's possible that they could do that with this this Crow remake. One thing I am hearing, I don't even know if I can say this. I'll be careful with my words. I'm hearing that the story's a little weird, and that's all I'll say. I'm hearing that the story is a little bit weird, okay? Like, maybe, and I could be wrong, but maybe don't expect this to be like a straight up remake of the first movie or even the graphic novel. Maybe some liberties will be taken. We'll see when it comes out, right, guys? Because don't like stamp that as, Lee said it, that's what's going to happen. But if I had to put money on it, from what I'm hearing, it might be a little different, okay? I'm a Crow fan, Crow fanatic, okay? Even the bad movies I can watch except for one of them. By the way, I'm going to do a Crow ranking for you guys tonight too. Why not? I'll rank all 4 movies for you. But yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Bill Skarsgård's playing. This is what we know. We know that Bill Skarsgård is playing the title character. I'm thinking he's playing Eric Draven, which, me personally, I don't think Eric Draven should ever be played again. I think that belongs to Brandon Lee. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it would be okay to have an Eric Draven again on the screen? It's not like a crime or anything, but yeah. Fachi, what's up, brother? People are going to do what they're going to do, but I think The Crow's a property that you can get away with not having it be Eric Draven. It's not like Superman where it needs to be Clark Kent, right? Or Kal-El. So, Erica says, I agree. I don't mind a Crow remake, but Eric Draven should have been left alone. And I just watched the original movie again the other day. By the way, my wife and I put out this little. It was gonna be a short, but it ended up being like a minute and a half, and so we made it just a regular Crow video with Levi, and it was really fun. But I watched the first movie again, and every time I watch that first movie, it's just like watching it again for the first time. It's so freaking good. Love the original Crow movie. So, yeah, I don't think it's coming out this year. All right, that's what my Vegas money's on right now. I don't think it's coming out this year. All right, so hopefully we get some news, some updates. All right. Before we jump into the Indiegogo, let me tell you what I got on tap for you tonight. I told you we're going to do the Crow ranking. We're going to rank all 4 movies live. We're going to talk about a prequel to Rosemary's Baby that's coming out. I got a new Danielle Harris and Dwight Little directed movie called Natty Knox that I'm really curious about. We're going to check out the trailer for that together. I've already checked out the trailer. It looks really interesting, but we're going to check it out again together. And I think, I got some topics. I posted on my Drumdums extra page. Give me some topics, and I'll read a few of those. Okay, so I got some interesting topics on there too. So still a jam-packed show. Okay, still a jam-packed show. All right, Adrian James, thank you, man. I appreciate that. By the way, guys, Indiegogo link is pinned on the chat. All right, if you want to contribute, you can contribute to this Crow fan film, Crow Days of Sodom. I've seen a couple of comments about that word Sodom. They're like, what? Wait, Sodom? What is this movie like? Really demented and dark? Let me clear this up for the whole Sodom thing. Okay, think Sodom and Gomorrah, right? I think is that in the Bible? And there are these civilizations, these towns that were just kind of corrupted. Which this is nothing new in like Crow lore. It usually takes place in a town that has been corrupted by gang violence, by whatever, crime, real estate deals going wrong. That's in the first movie. But, gangs, stuff like that. That's what we mean by Days of Sodom. Days of corruption, days of stuff like that. All right? That's what it is. It's not the other, Sodom that you're thinking of. Yeah, like Babylon. Thank you very much, CJM. There you go. All right. Before I pull up the Indiegogo, actually, I'll pull up the Indiegogo right now. Why not? Let's pull up the Indiegogo, wet your whistle, get you going, and then I'll talk about the backstory on how this whole thing started, at least from my end. All right, I'm sure there's a different story from Cody Fox end and Jason Farrell's end, but here, yeah, okay. Crow Days of Sodom. All right. Now, Cody and I have been friends for quite a few years. The first time I think I met Cody was when he was doing his Voorhees fan film for Friday the 13th, and we kind of struck up a friendship through that whole thing. And because I promoted it and everything, and then we kind of like kept in touch, and we would just shoot the shit and talk about life and stupid stuff, and we just became good friends. He's a very laid back type of guy, and he's very easy to talk to. I noticed that. You have a friend in your life that's just like, it's just so easy to talk to. There's no like awkward silence there or anything like that. I can just jump right into a conversation with Cody. And about 2 years ago, because he knows how important The Crow is to me, but I will admit I didn't know how important The Crow was to him. And he told me, The Crow's one of his favorite films. And we started talking about, a Crow fan film, and he came up. Actually, this script is different than the original script, because you go through different ideas for stories. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work as much. There might be a germ of, that'd be really cool, but then how do we bring it all together and tell a compelling story? Like, I remember he had a story that I think it started off as this would be really cool, but how are you going to get more than, say, 30 minutes out of that, right? Because it was kind of a one location type deal. So then I think a couple months went by, and then Cody reached out to me again. Completely new script, much bigger story, epic. And I think originally the plan in mind was something more small scale, something not requiring as much money to make. But then as we got to talking, the project got bigger, and it became one of these things why not? If you have a goal, if you have a vision, then why not go for it? Hey, let's get some celebrities in the movie. Let's get some talent, some really good actors in this movie. Let's put some let's rent out some big locations, on location, stuff like that. So this is a pretty ambitious fan film. Okay, this isn't gonna be like your backyard type fan film. And plus, not that we're wanting to compete with anybody, but these days with guys like Vincent DeSante and Dave McCrae and so many other talented guys out there, I think this is the golden age of fan films, and I think a lot of young filmmakers are starting to realize that, hey, maybe I'm not in the Hollywood system, but that doesn't mean I can't use Hollywood equipment, the highest. I mean, hell, they make movies on cell phones these days, guys. Steven Soderbergh did. So there's no limits these days, right? There's no limits. So I just can't believe here we are 2 years later, and we're at the Indiegogo, day one of the Indiegogo. It's pretty exciting. This is a big step in the whole thing. A lot of things have been set in motion to get to this day. All right. First off, before we go down the Indiegogo to kind of read through it, I'll show you this image that was just dropped yesterday. So there is the title character. That's Cody Falk. He showed this to me, I want to say probably a month ago or something like that. And I was like, my first reaction to this was Cody, when this comes out, this image is going to set the horror community on fire, And he was like, this is gonna, nobody's gonna care. And no, this is a really, really great image. And sure enough, I noticed it yesterday on all the socials. Those that saw the picture, they were just like, wow, okay, this is the real deal. This isn't just your backyard fan film. All right, this is how serious this thing's gonna be. I'll have to ask Cody, because I forgot who. I don't know if he did that makeup or if they had. I think he said they had a professional makeup artist come in and do that. And they did. I know they did a whole day of shoots of shots and everything. But yeah, as you can see, it's a really, really cool looking title character shot. It honors the original. You can see the Brandon Lee type makeup in there, but I'm thinking it's going to have the shorter hair. It's not going to be long hair like Brandon Lee, but the Crow's a very a visually striking character. I think more than most comic book characters, and when you think about DC and you think about Marvel, the Crow doesn't really fit into either of those. The Crow's kind of its own thing. It's one of the most unique comic book characters ever, and you can think outside the box and you can get creative with the makeup, but I think the one thing that has to be intact is those lines that you get on the face, on the vertical ones on the eyes, and then the horizontal ones on the lips. That's the big thing, and then you can kind of play around with that. But for a fan film that you really want to make your mark on, then why not try to honor the original, right? Don't go too crazy. But it's a great looking freaking photo. So I'm proud of it. Now, back to the Indiegogo. So let me switch to over here. All right. So it started today. Look at that. We already got, I think one of the perks is already sold out. $1,532. 35 days on this. I think we can reach this goal. And I'll tell you what, let's watch this first. This is kind of a little introduction video, just to give you an idea. So, here we go.
Hello comic book fans, my name is Cody.
And I'm Jason.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by our Indiegogo campaign for our upcoming fan film, Crow Days of Sodom. 3 years ago, my team at Wet Paint Pictures released a Friday the 13th fan film titled Voorhees, which has surprisingly staggered over 3.5 million views on YouTube and counting. We're back for another bold and ambitious fan film feature, for this time for The Crow.
The Crow Days of Sodom will follow a homicide detective called Thorn Gray, who has returned from the grave to seek vengeance on the corrupt police officers who murdered his wife. This is our own unique take on the Crow mythology, created by James O'Barr. This is more than 2 years in the making, and we are excited to finally bring it to you.
James O'Barr.
We've been lucky enough to cast some Hollywood celebrities that you might recognize. We're proud to announce that a few of those lucky backers will even get an opportunity to be in the film with these actors.
This is phase one of our fundraising campaign. We're hoping to raise $50,000 so we can start on principal photography this summer and produce physical perks for our generous Indiegogo backers.
We understand this is truly an ambitious goal to reach, but in order to do this character and film justice, it is imperative that we fund accordingly to help bring this monster of a film to life. There is no way we can reach this goal without your help, so please, please, please consider joining us on this amazing journey and help The Crow take flight once again.
It is important to mention that we are in no way associated with Dimension Films, Miramax, or Pressman Films, or any of the other Crow rights holders. This is a fan film. We are simply a group of independent filmmakers who want to give the fans the Crow film that we believe they deserve.
Every dollar raised will go directly into the film without 1 cent of monetary gain being made. This is truly a film made by the fans, for the fans.
We're grateful for every contribution. We ask that if you find this as exciting as we do, share the film's Indiegogo campaign, this page right here, with anyone who you think might find our story compelling.
We'd like to deeply thank you for taking the time to check out our past and current projects. Your support does not go unnoticed. We hope we can bring something new, bold, and unique to a franchise we care so much about. So join us on what we think will be fan film history.
Thank you.
There you go. That was like one of the alternate, like you can see that photo right there. That's one of the alternate images that he showed me. And, I think the other one's better. I think that one's just more like, you know how like you had like the dirtier kind of like the Rob Zombie, what they did with like Myers and everything. I think that's the trend these days. They even did it with Scream. But I like the lighter shade of white. So, now let's go down here. Let's look at some of the talent that's behind this. First off, here is the synopsis. Crow Days of Sodom is a feature-length film that serves as a supernatural detective noir film. If you guys noticed a lot of those locations, I believe this is filmed around DC is where they're going. But those pictures they showed you and some of the concept drawings, those are actual locations that they're going to film some of this stuff at. So you can see I think there's like 3 or 4 different locations that they're wanting to shoot this movie. He doesn't know why he's chosen. He only knows that somehow he has returned from the dead with a mission. Guided by his mysterious crow, a police detective Thorn Gray returns from the grave to seek vengeance on the officers who murdered his wife. But the murderers may be more than he bargained for, as he finds that he's fighting for much more than revenge in this explosive hell ride through love, grief, depravity, and a city in collapse. So that's kind of like Sodom, the Sodom and Gomorrah, city in collapse. All right. Reading through the story, The Crow Days of Sodom will be a feature-length noir film. And by the way, guys, on the right, we're going to go through those perks after we get through all this stuff. Produced by Wet Paint Pictures, it is massive in scale and wildly ambitious for a fan film. We began writing this script back in January of 2021, and it took us more than 2 years to complete. It took so long that because we wanted a great story with intrigue, emotional depth, violence, despair, and reflection. We wanted a tortured hero with a tragic and complex backstory. We wanted him to be real, vulnerable, and believable, and we wanted truly horrifying villains, not just the usual thugs, gangsters, or mobsters that usually populate action movies. And I will say, and I don't want to give anything away, but the villains, there's going to be a little aspect of the villains that I'm not really going to go into right now. I think that'll reveal itself along the way, but it's different than like the previous Crow movies. As horror fans, we also wanted to push the limits of film the way great horror movies do, but maintain a real emotional core and character depth that horror often lacks. We're proud to say the few who have read the Days of Sodom script, including a veteran Hollywood actor who has worked with legends from Paul Newman to Carol Burnett, have given us overwhelmingly positive feedback. One of those is James O'Barr himself. Now, before I go through the main cast here, I guess just a word on the script. I can tell you right now, too, the core of the script is going to be there, but I was literally just talking to Cody today, and he said, hey, I got this, that one thing that we were going to do. Hey, what do you think about changing that and let's do this? You know what I mean? So it's like every time somebody has an idea that pops up, we all want to kind of entertain it and say, hey, maybe you want to think it like I might have an idea like at 2:00 in the morning. Oh shit, maybe our title character should do this. And then the next morning I'll reach out to Cody, and we just come up with those little ideas. So I like that about this fan film, that nothing's set in stone. The core story is still there, but if a better idea arises, and it's, we can film it, obviously, then that's the idea that's gonna happen, right? So that's one thing that's really exciting about this, And I can tell you too, I don't think Cody would mind me telling you this, but as far as right now, the plan is this will be a really bloody film. Okay, I'm not saying the entire movie is just completely filled with blood, but the violence is like almost horror violence. Okay, and I would even say, comparing it to the other Crow films, violence-wise, this might be the most violent Crow film. All right, I'll put that out there right now. Okay, all right. So let's read on. Okay, so here is our main cast. Terry Kaiser, you know him from Friday the 13th Part 7, Weekend at Bernie's. He is our main antagonist, main bad guy. I can tell you, Caitlin Newberry, she plays Sarah. So we have a Sarah, much like you had Sarah in the first two movies. Sarah will be in this movie, and I can tell you right now too, guys, because I've read the script. Some of the stuff that got me the most exciting was Sarah. Sarah is a pivotal character in this story. And there's some moments in there I got chill bumps. I really did. Because she's kind of the voice of reason for the Crow, because the Crow, he's extremely angry in this movie. He's confused, he's upset, and he wants vengeance. And so Sarah, she kind of levels him a little bit, And I'll just say there's a moment in the script that really gives me chill bumps. It's a beautiful moment with Sarah. And she's a pivotal character in this story. And I think Caitlin Newberry is going to do a damn good job on this. So, yeah, and you got a mix of brand new talent also with celebrity talent in this. Our main goal here was for this to be... it doesn't matter if it's a celebrity or a newcomer. Whoever's best for the part and whoever, acts the part, then that's who's going to get the part. That's what we're doing here, And I will say, I've talked to Cody so many times about this, about celebrities and should we get a celebrity for this part? And I always told Cody, I don't think you have to worry too much about the number of celebrities in the movie. I think the quality of the character, the quality of the performance, that's what matters. And so I think we've found a good balance, right? So, but man, I got to tell you guys, the celebrities we did get, I am extremely excited about, especially this one, Lawrence Mason. And this was the last one we got. And I got to give all the credit to Cody and Jason Farrell. But I mean, those guys were extremely persistent on getting an actor from the first movie. That was important. They wanted to do that, and I think they ended up getting the best one that they could get in Tintin. I think Tintin, his scene in the first Crow, is arguably one of the best scenes in the movie. He's got his skill is with knives. Lawrence Mason is not playing Tintin in this movie for obvious reasons. He died in the first movie, but I will say Lawrence Mason has been offered parts in various Crow films throughout the years, and he has turned down every single one of them. But he was excited about this script, and his agent was like, "You don't realize how lucky you are to get Lawrence Mason. He doesn't just do any Crow project, but." He read the script. He really, really liked the story, and he wanted to be a part of it. And I'm just freaking shocked that we got freaking Tintin. He's not Tintin in the movie, but we got Lawrence Mason. Okay, and I love Lawrence Mason. I mean, have you guys seen True Romance? He's really funny in True Romance, but yeah, great actor. Also, Vernon Wells from freaking Commando. Your training, Matrix. Also. Mad Max. What's the second movie? Road Warrior. Yeah, Road Warrior. Very influential villain in Road Warrior. I think he's been copied a few times. Didn't he come back and play that same character in like a spoof or something like that? I think it was Weird Science. Yeah. We got Robert Mukes, who is an extremely tall guy who worked with Rob Zombie, I think, on Devil's Rejects. And we got Paul Taylor, who played Pinhead in Hellraiser Judgment. So, moving down, here is the supporting cast. I'm not going to tell you the characters that they're playing right now, but I will say I'm really excited about all of them. We got some really good talent here. Okay. I will say Nicole Yang's part is really fun and interesting. All right. I think you're really going to dig it. But all the characters are really interesting in this movie. Okay. This is just about the graphic novel. James O'Barr's this is more about James O'Barr. I'm not going to read all this because you guys know the backstory of James O'Barr. I encourage you to check out interviews with him on YouTube. His interview on the Crow DVD is like a really moving and emotional interview. He tells his backstory, how he lost his inspiration for the Crow and he lost his fiance. And getting James O'Barr, getting his blessing on this was just amazing. I mean, we could have made the movie anyway, but to actually get his blessing is like next level. And he's a great voice too, because he knows a lot about the business. He knows a lot about the franchise. He knows a lot about all the actors. Hey, James, should we even approach this actor about? And James would be like, you probably don't want to do that. So, yeah, he's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the Crow and the world. So, yeah. And then this is just about some of the actors. Terry Kaiser, again, Lawrence Mason. So, yeah, I don't need to be redundant. Voorhees, 3.5 million views. That's awesome. Okay, so now let's go through some of the perks. And guys, 35 days on this Indiegogo campaign. Like I said, link is at the top of the chat. Guys, you know me. I don't ask for money. I've never been the type to ask for money. Nothing wrong with asking for money, but I am so freaking passionate about this project. I don't put my name on a project unless I'm passionate about it. You know, if this was a project for the Crow that I wasn't, if I saw that it looked like it was going to be a half-ass effort, then I wouldn't put my name on it. Okay. But you know, we talked for months, and when Cody asked me, hey, I think you should be associate producer on this because we're talking constantly all the time, and you see how ambitious we are. And I was honored that he asked me, and I felt a responsibility. So, like I said, you know my channel. I don't ask for money, but I want to see this thing get made. I really do. So, and there's a lot of good perks for this thing too, you know. And this, guys, this could be a freaking part of Crow history, right? There's Cody in the chat right now. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Yeah, I was just talking about you, man. I was saying bad stuff. I'm glad you. I'm just kidding. Nothing but good stuff. But man, yeah, I'm proud of you, dude. I'm serious. I'm so proud. We wouldn't be here without the hard work that Cody put into all this. I got to give Cody massive credit. Like, as far as being motivated, you know, because you know how it is. Get dog trying to get a bone, right, guys? And you can't stop. You have to go. And I think those people that become successful, you know, I think one of the common ingredients there is to just be motivated, to be passionate, and to never stop, never give up. Don't accept no for an answer. And I can tell you right now, Cody Falk is that guy. I've seen it firsthand. He can be annoying sometimes how he doesn't take no for an answer. But I mean that with so much love, you know? He's just, that's the type of person you need to get something done, you know? So I see big things for his future. I really do. So anyway, yeah, let's look at some of the perks, guys. All right. Let's look at some of the perks. And like I said, one of these is already sold out. Okay. So you could donate as little as $10, and you get a thank you in the credits, which is cool. You know, I was just watching like Dave McCray's It's Me Billy, and I saw my name in the credits. It was really cool. I donated to a second one. I'm gonna donate to this one, even though I'm an associate producer on it. You know, because I want to get it there. All right. $25 gets you a poster, an 11x17 poster for the Crow. Now here's the one right here, guys. Okay, I think this is the happy medium for everybody, right? $40, and you get the Crow Blu-ray. You know, Cody, I think the goal for this is what, like an hour? I think, is that what we're shooting for this movie? If you guys have questions for Cody, ask him too. Okay, because I don't know everything. All right. But this is what I'm getting. I'm definitely getting the Blu-ray. You know, just because I'm a completist. I got to have the Crow in my collection. You know, and yeah. So $40. That's the sweet spot. Get you the Blu-ray. Yeah. So let's go down. $50. You get the Days of Sodom script. There's 20 of those. How many? Let's see if it says how many. So there's no limit, I think, on the Blu-ray. All right, there's 7 claimed right now. $250 gets you a Terry Kaiser signed script. It's really cool. $350 gets you a signed cast script. Only 10 of those available. Okay, this is a cool one right here. Your name on a tombstone. And I'm guessing that this tombstone is in the film, is what I would think. But can you imagine that you're watching a Crow film, you know, and this one's going to have all the fixings, right? It's going to be dark, it's going to be edgy, it's going to be gritty. You're going to see these, you know, these tombstones, and your name could be on that tombstone, okay? One of them's already been claimed, all right? That's a pretty cool little perk right there, okay? $500 gets your voice in the film, which is nice, you know? I don't know what that could be. It could be like a radio type thing. Could be a phone call. Could be anything. All right. $800. Be a zombie in the film. So there's a little hint for you. Remember I was talking about the baddies in this movie and how this is going to be a little different. All right. So, I'll just say this. You can be a zombie in the film. Okay? There's something in this film that's creating zombies. So you're going to get zombies in a Crow film. Right, guys? We're getting creative. Okay. $1,000 gets you a fight scene with the Crow. You can kick Cody's ass for $1,000. Yeah. Okay. 5 of those available. Be in a scene with Vernon Wells for $1,000. Be in a scene with Robert M. for $1,000. Be in a scene with Terry Kaiser for $2,000. Be in a scene with Lawrence Mason for $2,000. You can get a co-producer credit for $5,000. And, there's more executive producer credit and your name on a tombstone. So that one's sold out. Now, Cody, what's the difference between this one and the other tombstone? Is that a different tombstone? Okay, so I got questions about that one, Cody. All right. It could be a typo or something, but yeah. So that's the Indiegogo, guys. All right, get in there. We got 35 days to do this. We're going to get this to $50,000. And that's going to be a big step in getting this thing going. I don't know if I can tell you exactly when shooting starts, but I can tell you it is soon. It is very soon. Okay? So, being very careful with my words here, okay? But we are extremely excited. Okay? People requested more. Okay, thank you, Cody. Ken Dog says Cody needs to get the rights to A Grave Mistake by Ice Nine Kills, which would be cool. That's a great song too. Now I have talked to Cody about music. He knows I'm a big music fan. We've talked about some songs. Matter of fact, the other day he was like, "Hey, what's that song you were talking about?" Because the music is a major part of Crow films. The first 3 movies have amazing soundtracks. And I think that's one thing we want for this one. Now, obviously, we can't get freaking Rob Zombie to be in the soundtrack. But one thing I do love about The Crow, you guys remember when the first Crow came out, I remember getting the soundtrack. I only knew about 2 of the bands on that soundtrack, So that's one of the cool things about The Crow is you often find a lot of these more underground bands in there, which is cool, So that kind of opens the floodgates for opportunities for music for this, Yeah. Deftones was in the second movie. I don't think we could afford Deftones, if I'm being honest. But yeah. So, yeah, guys, that's the Indiegogo. All right? Get in there. We're going to be fighting to get this thing going. And make sure you follow the Days of Sodom Facebook page. Keep you up to date. Any changes that happen, But yeah, so I'm happy. This is cool. First day, and we're off and running. Love it. Scott Lauderdale, what's up, brother? Okay. Do you guys have any questions before we move on? Okay, we covered this for a good 45 minutes. Really excited. Any questions about this? And then we're going to move on. Because I know Cody's a very busy man. Full length, so like an hour and a half. No, we haven't started talking about booty yet, Albert. Now, Cody, do you want to address that 50,000? I believe the 50,000 is like phase 1 into this. All right. And phase 1 is important because that means we can go ahead and we can film this certain section of the movie, right? And then we will probably move into phase 2. All right. This is going to be an ambitious fan film, and you will definitely see the money when it finally comes out. I'll tell you that right now. Cody, do you want to tell them when, like the tentative date, not exact date, but timeline of when we would like this. I mean, would you say October of 2024? I don't know. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but just because I know that filming is going to be starting pretty soon. So my guess would be definitely next year. Okay. Ken Dog, I'm going to guess the movie will be on YouTube. All right. Like most fan films, this will be on YouTube, but you could still get the Blu-ray, for the full quality. Yeah, late next year, guys. So there you go. Late next year. I'm guessing probably last quarter next year. Yeah. Fluff, what's up, brother? How you doing? Nice. Tosin, any martial arts choreography used in the filming? Cody, I'll let you answer that one. What I can tell you is there are quite a few action sequences in this movie. There will be fights for sure. I mean, it's a Crow movie. Of course, you're going to get that. Okay. We do have a number of professionals on the crew for this movie. Some of these, many of these professionals work in the industry. Okay. So, and that's the thing about Hollywood too, is it's not just like LA. You have sections in like North Carolina, South Carolina, up in Canada. They film a lot of movies. Here in Orlando, they film movies. So you have professionals that are in the business scattered all over, and we will have them on this too. And I'm almost positive there will be a theater showing for this as well. So, yeah. Cody says a theater premiere sooner. Yeah, which that will be really cool. I will say, the plan is for me to be in the movie. There will be a small part for me to be in the movie. I'm not going to say too much about it, but yeah, and I'm looking forward to that, which will be cool, but yeah. So, if you guys want to ask any more questions for Cody while he's in there, go ahead and go for it. I will move on to the next topic, and we'll look at the Natty Knox, this new Dwight H. Little movie with Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris and Dwight H. Little are getting back together again, which is quite surprising. Quite surprising. For those of you that don't know, Dwight H. Little directed Halloween 4. And Halloween 4 is my second favorite Halloween movie. That movie is so freaking important to me. It's made me the Halloween fan I am today. And the ending of Halloween 4 scared the living shit out of me. Okay? One of the scariest endings I've ever seen in my life. Okay? It gave me nightmares for days, months, years. And Dwight H. Little directed a movie with Brandon Lee. He directed Rapid Fire. So there's a little link. Okay? Thank you, Cody. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for stopping by, helping out with some of these questions. James Leclerc says, hopefully we don't have another Alec Baldwin or Brandon. Yeah, Cody and I actually talked about that. We're going to be very, very safe on this shoot. Going out of our way to make sure the stuff like that's not going to happen. Okay? I mean, hell, these days too, you can put the gunfire in post, So, that's something that's not going to happen. Nobody's getting shot in this movie, okay? And that's, it's sad that that's kind of a thing to joke about because, I mean, we lost Brandon Lee, It's so freaking sad that happened. And it still stings to this day. It still stings. You know, it's been 30 years since he passed now, and man, that's a day I'll never forget. It was pretty intense because I had already known about the Crow, reading in the newspaper now, about him being in this movie, and then you hear that he died. It was pretty tragic. So, yeah. But I think the good that came out of it was I think it forced Hollywood to take a closer look at these things. You can't be perfect all the time, but you can try. And I would imagine that probably did maybe potentially save a few lives over the years. Of course, we had the Alec Baldwin situation, which was really sad and tragic. But hey, there might have been more. So, yeah, brutal. But, yeah. All right, so now let's go to this Natty Knox trailer. All right. Let me close this. I'm really excited about this. Because Danielle Harris and Dwight H. Little reuniting. It's pretty damn cool. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So we're going to watch this trailer together. Actually, let's read it first. And then we'll watch the trailer. So here's the poster. Now, that poster does look like one of those movie cases that you see at Walmart. Bill Moseley, Danielle Harris, and Robert Englund. And let's see. Here we go. Natty Knox, exclusive trailer. Robert Englund stars in new horror movie from Halloween 4 director. A town knows its secrets. A town knows how to hide them too. Dwight H. Little, who directed Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, Phantom of the Opera, and an episode of Freddy's Nightmares, is back in the director's chair for Natty Knox. A brand new movie starring horror icons Robert Englund, Bill Moseley, and Danielle Harris. Vertical will release Natty Knox day and date on July 21st, and Bloody Disgusting has been provided with the official trailer today. Exclusively watch the Natty Knox trailer below. So this movie, you can actually watch it on July 21st at home. Okay. The film is set on Halloween Eve. A small-town babysitter and the kids she is looking after struggle to survive a serial killer named Abner Honeywell. That's a cool name. Charlotte Fountain Jardim, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Thomas Roby, Insidious: The Last Key, Neon Perez from Grace and Frankie, Jason James Richter, Free Willy, also star. Benjamin Olsen wrote the screenplay. Vertical SVP of Acquisitions, Tony. I'm tired of reading names. Said in a statement, Natty Knox immediately intrigued us given its collaboration of prolific horror icons who defined the genre for decades. The film is a testament to Dwight's experience as a filmmaker, and we're pleased that we were able to come on board for the project. We couldn't be happier that our indie thriller Natty Knox has found a perfect home with Vertical. So let's check out the trailer. Let's check out this trailer. And they definitely use a unique, like one of those film stock filters on it to give it kind of an aged look.
A town knows its secrets. A town knows how to hide them too.
She sleeps with the worms under the ground.
Who's that outside? Don't make a sound.
Natty knocks 9 times.
Natty knocks 9 times. Don't answer your door. Close all your blinds. Hide under your bed.
Or she'll take off your head.
I thought that was just an old ghost story.
Where do you think those stories come from?
I don't know. Maybe she's still alive.
We have to tell someone. We should call the cops.
Kill them from me. What the hell is going on here? Kill them all. Help coming!
You can't be here. What are you doing here?
That looks pretty good, actually. I mean, it looks like a kind of a B-level horror movie that's fun. You know, like there's nothing wrong with a B-level horror movie if it's it can still be good, right? But that looks pretty fun, actually. I'm wondering, you know, because I think they were very secretive about what Danielle Harris is doing in the movie. You know, like she's not the babysitter. I think that young girl is the babysitter. But I think the quality of the cinematography and everything looks really good in there. It's probably going to have some nice like horror comedy elements in there. I don't know. I think it looks really fun. It looks a lot better than I thought it was going to be, given that it's vertical. You know, and that's not a knock against vertical. That's just they're a certain lane, right, in horror. But I think it looks like it could be fun. Now, does that mean it's gonna be fun? No, it could be horrible. I don't know, but I think I like that it's set around Halloween. You know, Hallows Eve, and it could be fun. It could be fun for sure. Erica goes eek. Charlotte says, "What a cast! I love Halloween 4. It's my third favorite Halloween." Oh man, the chanting brought me back to Troll 2 for a second. Erica, you're going to have to really win her over. Rosemary says it looks fun. Looks a little cheap, but still entertaining and fun. Charlotte, yeah. Now, and if I can give you an example too, what was the All Cheerleaders Die? I think was a lower budget type horror movie, but it was really fun. It was really fun. It started off a little weird, but then it just got better and better and better. So, like every now and then you can find one of these lower budget horror movies that actually ends up being kind of fun. But you know, the big thing here is that it's Dwight H. Little, who is a good director. You know, he's done a lot of TV. You know, he is a really good director, and putting him with Danielle Harris again, I'm always rooting for Danielle. You know, I'm always you know, wanting her to get back in the Halloween franchise. I know a lot of people are done with her being in the franchise, but I would love for her to come back to the franchise. So, but it's nice to see her at least working with Dwight H. Little. You know, she does have a good relationship with the Akkads too, Malik Akkad. So yeah, who knows? Maybe one day she could get back in the franchise. And I've shared this before, but when I saw her at Spooky Empire the last go round, I've seen her twice. I did ask her, you know, hey, because fan films are so big these days, and you're having celebrities doing fan films now, would you ever do a fan film? And at the time, she told me no, and that's not a knock against fan films, but she didn't want to get on the bad side of the Akkads. You know, that's a direct statement from her. And I get that. I completely get that. You know, that might close the door for good. And in my mind, maybe there's something there that we don't know. Maybe the door is potentially open for something that she can't really talk about, you know? Because if the door was completely shut, then I think Danielle Harris might entertain a fan film, okay? Because, you know, she's doing B-level horror movies, which are like maybe the next rung up from fan films. And I've seen some damn good fan films, you know? So who knows? I think the door might be cracked open a little bit for her to eventually do a fan film. You know, I think once she knows that, okay, I'm not coming back to the franchise, then, you know, maybe she will. Or maybe if she ever got like the blessing from the Akkads to do a fan film, who knows? You know, and you can make some money in fan films these days as a celebrity. You know, so sometimes money talks, right? If it's a good part, if it's you know, she gets to play Jamie Lloyd again, and you know, she's amongst a good cast. I don't know. It could happen. Okay, so yeah, that's the Natty Knocks. Yeah, Danielle is a sweetheart. She is a really nice person. You know, I'm sure she has her good days and her bad days, just like everybody else. I mean, she's done so many freaking conventions. You know, she was talking about that on her podcast with Scout recently about how the convention circuit, it's keeping a lot of horror actors, you know, keeping them afloat, because the parts, you know, they're just not there. The COVID really affected a lot of that too, you know, and it's just a way to stay afloat, monetarily. So, she said, thank God for horror fans, so, she stated that, every time she greets a horror fan, she wants to make sure, because this might be the only time they ever get to meet her. So she wants to give them at least, a special experience. So, yeah. And while we're on the news, let's take a look at Rosemary's Baby. And I got to give a shout out to Troy Candy on Twitter. Troy, he'll clue me in on any interesting news stories, not just horror. Like he's a big Stallone fan. And did you guys hear about that Stallone documentary that's coming out in November? But yeah, he tagged me on that today. So let me get over here. Now, what are your thoughts on Rosemary's Baby? All right, while I'm getting over here. I think, setting aside any, politics and whatnot, and Roman Polanski and all that stuff, I try to, everybody has their own opinions on these things, and I try to separate that stuff from my entertainment enjoyment. What's up, Carly? How are you doing? And I guess I can do it with Roman Polanski. And Rosemary's Baby, I think, is one of the best horror films ever made. Still to this day, like I watched it a couple years ago again. I got the Criterion Blu-ray, and it still holds up very well because the themes in there, it's just universal themes that never go away. And it's just this young woman who her whole life is just pretty much being controlled by everyone around her. She has no control over her own life. And this is set in the 60s, which that was quite a bit more prevalent back then. But even still today, it's a personal type thing, and we're all different types of people. And I think we have strong women who can fend for themselves, and we still have frail women that feel like they need to be taken care of, or maybe they want to be strong, but they just can't. They let everybody else around them kind of control their life. That still happens to this day, men and women, really. So it was a universal theme in Rosemary's Baby, veiled in this satanic story, of the devil's child. And it's beautifully directed. And it's got some, it's one of those movies. There's very little, I'd say there's very little, in your face horror in Rosemary's Baby. It's more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more kind of beneath the surface, There's like an undercurrent of a dread and horror going through the movie. Like, it's one of those movies you watch and you're like, this ain't gonna have a happy ending. Well, yeah, like you could do a list like, what are movies within 10 minutes this is not gonna have a happy ending? Okay, can you guys give me an example? What's a movie that, like, within 10 minutes you're like, there's no way this is gonna have a happy ending? Okay, like I would say Hereditary, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna be good. They're not gonna be freaking singing Kumbaya at the end of the movie and holding hands, The Witch, stuff like that, That's kind of like what Rosemary's Baby's like, okay? Now, and this is a story that I could have some more stories told. I'd be curious about a prequel or something like that. Now, how do you have I guess, is it a period piece? I don't know. Let's read. Mia Farrow does a fantastic job in this movie too. You can see the toll that this movie took on her throughout the shoot. She looks very healthy and full of life at the beginning, and by the end of the movie, she looks so frail. And I don't think all of that was makeup. I think she really, and some actors, they're method actors and they put themselves through a lot, and I think she did that for this movie. Rosemary's Baby prequel, Apartment 7A gets first details. A Rosemary's Baby prequel film is in the works, and World of Real reports a recent test screening left people optimistic. What? So it's already filmed? A recent test screening? Wow. Okay. What do we know about Apartment 7A? According to the report, a recent test screening for a movie titled Apartment 7A was, in fact, a Rosemary's Baby prequel. The report mentions the film follows the woman who died outside of the apartment prior to Rosemary moving into the Bramford. Okay, so that's how they could do it. So I'm thinking it would be a period piece. World of Reel's report describes leads Diane Wiest and Julia Garner as intense and clever. Wiest is called diabolically hilarious, and Garner totally committed to the project. The film's director is Natalie Erica James, who previously directed the psychological horror film Relic. That's pretty cool. In 2020, Relic created some buzz too. I didn't see it, but I heard a lot of people talking about it. I think it was on Netflix. Alongside Wiest and Garner, the film is also reported to star Marley Sue and Rosie McEwen. Apartment 7A has been in development for some time, although the fact that the project is a Rosemary's Baby prequel is new. The film is written by Skylar James, Christian White, and Natalie Erica James, and will be produced by John Krasinski, Allison Seeger, Michael Bay, that's interesting, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller. So I wonder if this will be under Platinum Dunes. The original Rosemary's Baby was released in 1968 from director Roman Polanski, based on Ira Levin's 1967 novel of the same name. The film follows the story of a pregnant Rosemary Woodhouse and her husband moving into a New York City apartment. However, Woodhouse soon discovers their neighbors are actually a satanic cult and grooming her to use her baby when it's born. The film was a massive success upon release and is often regarded as one of the greatest horror films of all time. Farrow's performance is renowned, and the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. Really cool. So, yeah, so there's been a test screening. What that tells me, this is coming out probably pretty soon. I wonder if it will get a theatrical release. You know, it didn't say anything about that, or if it will just go like straight to streaming, like Hulu or something like that. I don't know. Are you guys game for this? Is this something that sounds pretty cool to you? Shaw Gore says, I've never seen it, been meaning to. 60s is a bit of a blind spot for me, horror-wise. Now, I'm no like expert of 60s horror, but I'll say everything that I've delved into, I've really loved. And one thing I've noticed is there's a unique, distinct flavor in 60s horror. Different than 70s and 80s, which I love. You know, it's a little bit more colorful, I think. It definitely has an old-fashioned type feel to it. I think like you got Night of the Living Dead, which is very grim. Blood and Black Lace, I think, is 68 around there, which is a really great Giallo movie. So yes, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. I want to dive into some more 60s horror, like Rick Michaels is saying there. Yeah, 60s horror. So far, everything I've seen, I've really loved. So, yeah. Erica says, I think one thing that's so cool about it is if I just listen in the background, it can be a very calming movie. But when you actually watch it, creepy, central, like night and day. Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's an interesting movie for sure. And it's not one of those movies that I can watch, you know, all the time, but every time I do watch it, it's a pleasurable experience, you know. And I just feel bad for her, for Rosemary, this poor girl. So, yeah. So that's that story. Let me see what's the next thing. Let me see what I got up here. I do have some funnies for you guys. You guys want to do some funnies real quick? We'll do some funnies. And then, because I still have the leftovers that I forgot to do last week. And then we'll rank the Crow movies. Okay? All right. So, Yeah, let's do some funnies. All right. Funny. Here we go. Okay. That's true. These are 4 separate movies. And I can't even like attempt to name the movies. Now, I know that I wonder if 2 of them are, what's those? Jumanji? Weren't there 2 Jumanji movies? So I wonder if 2 of them are Jumanji movies. I don't know. And The Rock, he doesn't age, you know? Like one could be from 20 years ago and he looks the same today. It's crazy. But I'm trying, what other movie could that be? Didn't he do a Jungle Cruise movie? I guess one of them could be the Jungle Cruise movie. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Next one. Yeah, I got quite a few of them too. Okay. Yeah, this is Halloween and Oats. Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Or maybe it's whoa, here he comes. He's a man eater. I don't care. I'm eating. I got me like a granola bar. I didn't have dinner yet. I'm gonna have dinner after this. Okay. But I don't want you to hear me chew. Let me go to the next one. This one's called Horny Couple. Okay. There you go. Bartender, the couple over there bought you a drink. The couple. What do? You run the fuck out of that bar as fast as possible. Okay. I totally regret eating this now. I'm going to put the rest of it down here. Okay? I have major regrets. Okay. Next one. This is called King of the... Did I misspell that? H-A-F? King of the Hill. I think that's what I meant. Okay. Dang it, Bobby. I knew that wasn't a portobello mushroom. Horn Coffee, what's up, brother? I'm laughing. That's for me, guys, okay? I'm having a good old time with that. Look at... He's got Bobby's head on a plate. That's kind of one of those like is it like a Where's Waldo picture where you can like study it and there's like a million different things you can see. Like there's a cat, there's an alien in the back corner. His buddy is like peeking behind the bushes. Okay. Next one. This one's called Lazy Satan. Okay, Lazy Satan. All right, there you go. This is a news story that just came out. Satan admits he hasn't really inspired a great album since the 1980s. He's been slacking. He's getting lazy, right? He's been slipping, as it says there. Yeah, what happened to like satanic music? You know, like Ozzy in the 80s, like Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, Now, here's the thing. That stuff was never advertised to be like satanic music. It was the church groups and whoever else, they kind of, I guess, created that whole thing. Kiss even. And Kiss is like, why in the hell are you calling us satanic music? We sing about chicks. We sing about getting laid and stuff like that. But, you had Gene, you give him one little nugget, like Gene Simmons looking like the demon and everything, so if, I guess it's one of those things, like if what is it? Like you're screaming in a forest, if nobody's there to hear it, then does it exist? Right. So somebody's screaming in the forest. It's the church groups. Okay. Yeah. All right. Next one. Guys, you know about the Bud Light controversy, right? Pretty crazy. I saw this, Tool's my favorite band. And now this is true. Maynard at Rockville, he got dressed up like everyone's aunt, I guess. That's what it looks like. And there was a little bit of controversy over it because it was in Florida. And I think I live in Florida. And Florida's one of those states that's really anti-Bud Light. And I'm not going to get like political with you or anything, or, I don't care. But the story here is that Maynard was like, why is everybody freaking out? I do this shit all the time. And if you're a Tool fan, you know that Maynard is known for getting dressed up occasionally for show. Like back in the 90s, he used to wear a bra, and look like he had like big boobs. Sometimes he'll dress like half his body to be blue, That's just part of the gig. That's what he does. And he was surprised when they thought that he was making a statement to Florida. So, but it was funny. I love Maynard too, Maynard's awesome. He doesn't give a shit. Like, sometimes he ruffles feathers too. Like, remember that whole Justin Bieber thing that happened a while back? Like a couple years ago? Justin Bieber said he was like a fan of Tool. And this was, I think, before the new album came out a couple years ago. And Maynard, like, this was on Twitter where a lot of bad shit happens. And then Maynard responded to him and basically stated, don't, because he said, I'm a fan of Tool. And he's like, don't be a fan of Tool. And so then, of course, all the Bieber fans got really mad at Maynard. And Maynard's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, his point was, if you start, stating that you're a fan of anything, then everybody else is gonna, I don't know. I don't even know what it was all about. But Maynard was just like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Well, of course, in Bieber's defense, he can, if he's a fan of anything, he can post it on Twitter. That's fine. Okay. But I guess Maynard's point was, at the time, Bieber, is really young. And to have that much power as a young artist, it can kind of get away from you, So, but Maynard's just really blunt, and sometimes he can come across as an asshole. He is an asshole, all right? Nobody's contesting that. All right. Next one, story time. You know how we always like to tell a story? Okay. Guys, this one's going to be interactive. I need your opinion on this. Okay? This one's going to be interesting. All right? All right, let's read. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and my parents died when I was 14 years old. I dropped out of school because no one could afford to pay my fees. I met a guy when I was 16, and he sent me back to school. He sold fruit on the street so that he could pay my school fees. He later got a job as a truck driver and sent me to university. I am now working as a lawyer. My problem is that I feel I can't continue with this relationship because this guy is not the type of man I would like to marry one day. Uh-oh. How best can I tell him that he is not my type without hurting his feelings? I am grateful that he sent me to school, but I can't be in a relationship with him anymore. I want somebody in my own class, not a truck driver. Please help. Shit. This is not a Penthouse forum. Now, this is a case of somebody that's not grateful. This guy, he pretty much bent over backwards for her, sent her to school. She became a lawyer because of him. But I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate, I guess you're attracted to who you're attracted to. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. I totally feel bad for the guy. But, I guess maybe, like, wouldn't he have picked up on this stuff kind of earlier down the, like, did it take her becoming a full-blown lawyer for all these things to present themselves, you know? Like, was she like fully smitten with him the whole time? And then when she becomes a lawyer, it's like a light bulb came on and she was like, oh, I don't want to be with a truck driver. I got questions. There's more to this story that I need to know, okay? But I do feel bad for the guy. I do feel bad for the guy. You know, and I'm sure this shit happens all the time, right? You know? This is what I want. Charlotte says, you can't control attraction, though, but I feel bad for him. He will think she used him. That's so true. That's very true. You cannot control how you feel about somebody, you know? And here's my thing, too. You know, the poor guy, but the second I found out that, you know, whoever I'm with is not into me anymore, do I really want to stay with them for the rest of my life? You know, somebody that doesn't want to be with me anymore? I don't. Given that, you know, yeah, I just put this person through freaking school, you know, law school and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a kick in the fucking nuts. But that's life, I guess. That's life, you know. Maybe I didn't do something along the line to make her still be in love with me. I don't know. Is she a bitch for doing that, guys? I don't know. Yeah. Well, if he's seen this, she ain't gonna tell him now. They need to sit down and have a conversation. But I do feel bad for the guy. But I feel like he's a little bit. Maybe he's a sucker. You guys think he might be a sucker? I don't know. You women though, you're like a Rubik's cube, okay? And I think guys might be a little simpler. I don't know. Okay. Okay, next one. This is Strode for mayor. Okay, Strode for mayor. That was a fun story though, right? Maybe we should do stories like every time. Okay. Travis says, weird story though. Where in the U.S. will public schools keep a student from going because they can't afford the fee? That's a good point. It's a public school, right? I went to public school. Okay. Would you vote for him? Make Haddonfield great again. Now, hey, that's not me. Ease down. Okay, ease down. That's not me picking a political side. All right, I'm not doing that. I saw it. I thought it was funny. I posted it. All right, that's it. Okay? But man, would that be funny if you saw that in the freaking Halloween movie. Make Haddonfield great again. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Next one is The Thing. The Thing. There you go. And I know John Carpenter recently stated that is he working on a Thing sequel? I think he's working on a Thing sequel From Home or something like that. I don't know. But I don't know if he's directing or not though. Okay, you know what? Let me pull that up real quickly. I just want to know. Hold on, let me type this in. Hold on just a sec. John Carpenter working on a Thing sequel. Let's see what we get. The Thing 2 may finally be happening. And this was June. Yeah, this was back June 1st, 2023. Let me pull this up real quick. I'm curious about this story. All right. Yeah. Real quick. All right, guys. I'm not going to keep you too long on this one. All right. The Thing 2 may finally be happening. John Carpenter suggests. I just want to know if he's like directing or what. The Thing director placed things suspiciously coy when addressing the idea of a sequel. Let me read this. It says, I may have been sworn to secrecy. Okay, because there may be, I don't know if there will be, there may be a Thing 2. So that pretty much sums it up right there. If he said that, that doesn't necessarily mean he's directing, and I don't know. It's probably not. Okay? I don't need to read all this other stuff, right? There have been whispers of a sequel to The Thing for a while now, and while nothing has yet materialized, this is far from the first time that Carpenter has hinted at the project being in development. I would think he's probably executive producing. Wouldn't you think, guys? And I remember there was a story about The Thing, I think last year, that they were working on another one. So, yeah. Okay, let me go back. See, we did it. We went through it real quick. But yeah, like, what do you guys think? I don't know. Do you guys think that we need another Thing movie? You know, the original Thing, that's freaking one of the greatest horror films ever made, right? But I'm not, you know, the thing is about any sequel or any remake or whatever, I'm never like, don't you dare make that, you know? Because the original always exists. It's always there. And I always say, make it. Make it. You know why? Because there's a chance that what you make is great. You know, I don't care if it's the 33rd movie in the franchise. It could be great. And why would you deny yourself the chance of having a great movie? You know? So I'm never against making anything. Okay? Ever. Because if they don't make it, then, you know, how would you know? Right? The original is always there. Okay? So there's a chance it could suck, but it's still not going to change the fact that the original is always there. All right. So, back to the funnies. The Thing. I think I got a couple more here. Okay. This one's called Throw It. Did I show this one before, guys? Let me know. I don't remember if I did or not. This one's kind of interactive. You can kind of play along. You could do any franchise, but we'll do Halloween. Yeah. So the first Halloween, nope. Halloween 2, no. What's the Halloween movie that you're going to say, throw it? All right. And I think I know which one some of you are going to say. But, I mean, Resurrection would be my answer for sure. You know? But you could apply that to any franchise. It's a lot of fun, right? Yeah. Nicholas Vincent, what's up, man? How are you doing? Yeah, Nicholas, I took a nap like right before this. I took like a nice 20-minute nap. It was nice. I needed that, you know? Carly says she was never throwing him. That's an option too. Never throwing him away. And I'll say this. As much as shit as I give Resurrection, it's no Seed of Chucky. Okay? I still have a decent time with it. You know, there's every now and then there'll be a moment in Resurrection where I'm like, ooh, that was kind of cool. And then there'll be a moment that's like, what the? Like when Myers... okay, here we go. What is the weirdest, stupidest moment in Halloween Resurrection? All right? What is the weirdest... There's a lot of weird, stupid moments in Halloween Resurrection. But here's my least favorite moment in Halloween Resurrection. All right? And you probably can't get... Can you guess what is my least favorite moment in Resurrection? And it's probably not going to be what you think it is. Okay? All right. So here it is. Here's my least favorite moment in Resurrection. And it's at the beginning of the movie. You got Michael Myers. He is chasing Laurie Strode. Okay? And Laurie Strode runs through this door. And Myers comes through the door. And I don't know if there was static electricity or something. But his mask, the hair on his mask immediately formed an afro. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it was hilarious. And it completely took me out of the movie as far as like taking it seriously. You know, Myers has an afro now, you know? And it's like the Resurrection mask is definitely not my least favorite mask. It's down there though, you know? But yeah, that was funny. All right, next one. Rudy throwing the spice in Myers' eyes. That's mine. Travis Parsons. Yeah, nobody ever mentions the Rudy scene where he throws the spice in Myers' eyes. He's a cook. This is for Jen. This is for Rudy. This is for all of them. Yeah. Carly, Erica beat you to it. Yeah, you know what? I think that's it. I think that's a worse moment. Yeah, that's true. Bianca Kalic, God bless her. No, not really. No. Okay. She was not a really good final girl. Would you say that Bianca Kalic was the worst final girl out of the entire franchise? Let's think about this. Worst final girl out of the entire Halloween franchise. Hold on. We might clip this out, guys. All right. We got stuff here. Hold on. Let's think about this. All right. Laurie Strode. So nope. Part 2, nope. Part 3 is Ellie Grimbridge. Is she kind of not really? She's a final girl. 4, you got Rachel and Jamie. Really Rachel, because Jamie, she becomes evil. All right, so hell no. 5, you got Jamie. Nicholas says Laurie is the worst. Oh, wow. Even I can't say that. Part 6 is Cara Strode. There might be a contender there, even though I don't mind Cara Strode. I kind of like her. Okay. H2O is Laurie. Of course not. Resurrection, Bianca. Then you got Scout Taylor Compton for the next 2 movies. So that's it, guys. It's official. It's Bianca Kalich. She is the worst final girl out of the franchise. Okay. Rick, I like that one. I can see why folks don't, though. But I kind of thought it was cool how he framed the dude. Okay. Yeah, he hands knife handed to the guy in the hospital. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. The guy that was like the Ted Bundy guy. Yeah. Scout is my favorite Laurie. Yeah, I didn't mind Scout as Laurie. I still think there's a better Laurie to be had. And I think that's one reason why I stated I'm not against Laurie Strode as a character coming back. But I just don't want it to be Jamie Lee Curtis, you know? So, I mean, I think there's a potential of a really, really great Laurie Strode. And I don't mind them reinventing Laurie Strode. Do you guys mind that? They can reinvent Laurie Strode for all I care. She doesn't have to be the same Laurie Strode as from the first movie, you know? The goody-goody two-shoes. She could be like Erin and be a badass. I don't care. You know, maybe she has a little bit of those Laurie Strode qualities. You know, she has the same kind of predicament with her, is it foster parents that are realtors? Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, I used to be against Laurie Strode coming back, but the more I think about it, I just don't want Jamie Lee Curtis. So, yeah. Okay, so I'll probably clip that out. Next one is Tool fans. Okay. And this is a true story. Tool fans, there's a difference between Tool fans and other metal fans. I've noticed that too. Tool fans, they look a little geeky sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes they look a little geeky. You know, because Tool is like cerebral type metal. Like there's no other band really like Tool. You know, they have their own thing. And they have their haters. There's people that can't stand Tool. And I get that. And there's people that are obsessed with Tool, and they're annoying, and I get that, you know? So, yeah, I just like the music. Okay. This next one's a 2-parter, and this will be the last funny. All right, this is called Wrong Event. Okay? Wrong Event. Part 1 is this. Now, this is kind of an anime type deal. You know, it looks like it's an Olympic type situation with a high jumper, and he's jumping over. Okay, but keep in mind the title, Wrong Event. Okay, Wrong Event. So it's all going to come clear and it's all going to make sense with part 2. Okay, so here's part 2. Ready? Boom. See? That would be embarrassing. That's why when you are in the Olympics, you want to know what your sport is, but more importantly, you want to know where your sport is, right? You don't want to end up going to the wrong event. Because he's just going to land on his back. And then he's going to like, look, where the fuck did everybody go? So, yeah. Okay. You know what? We'll save the Crow. Yeah, I could rank the Crows like real quick for you. You want me to rank the Crows like real quick? Yeah, I'll rank the Crows real quick, and then we'll do your some of the topics that you guys posted on the Drumdums Extra community page. All right. So let's go over here. Let's take this off. Let's take is that it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to quickly rank all 4 Crow movies. How many of you guys have seen all 4 Crow movies? Have all of you seen all 4 Crow movies? I would wager that there's probably one that you might have not seen. Okay. But I guess I'll go worst to best. Worst to best. Okay. So the absolute worst is Wicked Prayer. Wicked Prayer is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It's horrible. It just doesn't feel like the normal Crow movies, which is fine if you got a good story there. But I think the biggest crime of many crimes that this movie makes is the casting of Edward Furlong as the Crow. He seems lost in the character, and the action scenes are really laughable. You know, there's a scene I think in a bar, and you can clearly tell that he's on wires, and he's just kind of like floating across. It's so bad. And you got some bigger stars in this, like David Boreanaz, and you got Dennis Hopper in there, but you can tell they're just like laughing at this thing. Some of the lines that Dennis Hopper has to say, wow. I've reviewed all 4 movies, but I wasn't even going to review this one, and then like somebody like dared me to review it, and I did it, and it was like freaking 7 years ago, something like that. But it's pretty funny. It's hilarious. The soundtrack is kind of non-existent, you know. Most of the Crow movies have a really good rock soundtrack, but this one doesn't really. I've only watched it, I think, all the way through, maybe once. Yeah, it's really bad. And I'm an Edward Furlong fan. I don't dislike everything that he does, but he was just, sometimes you're just not the right fit, and he was poorly miscast in The Crow Wicked Prayer. Which leads us to the next one, The Crow Salvation. And I'll say this right now, the rest of the Crow movies, I can watch them. The Salvation, I think the biggest problem with Salvation is it does feel like a TV movie, but it has a really kick-ass rock soundtrack. I think it leans a little bit too heavily on the rock soundtrack. It feels like they play a rock song, and then there's like maybe a 5-minute gap, and then they play another rock song. It's one of those movies that it kind of depends on the rock music, when you don't really want to do that. You want to have some nice character moments. I think some of the moments are a little cringe, especially the flashback scenes with him. It feels like they didn't really flesh those scenes out, and maybe they were on a time crunch, and hey, we got to get these scenes quick, and it feels rushed and really silly and laughable, and you just don't really feel the emotion, I think Eric Mabius, he does a pretty good job as the Crow. I like that they tried something different. He was electrocuted, and I like what they did with the makeup. I think it's kind of cool how they did the makeup. It's very different this is probably the most different Crow makeup out of all 4 movies. Whereas like Edward Furlong, I think they tried to go back to the original makeup. But this one, the makeup's literally like burned onto his face when he's electrocuted. So, and there's some cool scenes in this too. There's definitely some cool scenes. All right. This might be better than part 2, if I'm being honest. It's so close, but both movies are so different in feel. So by default, I put it at number 3. Okay. Which leads me to number City of Angels. Yeah. So City of Angels is number 2. This movie has grown on me quite a bit. I think it is gorgeous to look at. And I'll even say this. It might be one of the most beautiful looking Crow movies out of all 4 movies. I like that it's set in LA. It feels like LA. And you know how some movies, that they're kind of filmed on a sound stage or a backlot or something like that. And most of the time you prefer it to be on location. But for some reason, because of the fantasy nature of The Crow, I kind of like it to be more creative and maybe be on a soundstage, because they're dark movies anyway. So I like to be taken to another world, right? And that's what the Crow movies do. I don't feel like, even though that's set in LA, I feel like I'm in a different world with the Crow, And The Crow 2, I think Vincent Perez gives a very interesting and unique performance. He did not try to copy Brandon Lee at all. I think he captures the emotion quite well. You know, he almost gives it too much. You know, you could say maybe a little bit of restraint there because, man, he really goes for it. So I think he might go off the cliff on a few scenes. But the scene where he resurrects out of the water is so freaking badass. Like I love that. Again, that might be my favorite resurrection scene because in the first movie, the resurrection, he just crawls out of a grave. But man, visually stunning. Loved Mia Kirshner as Sarah. Yeah, I'll even say this too. We literally tried to get Mia Kirshner, but she's like almost impossible to get a response from. Okay, and we just didn't have time to hammer down on it. But yeah, I love Mia Kirshner. She's mesmerizing. You know, I might have fell in love with Mia Kirshner in this movie. I'm being honest. Okay, all right. And so, of course, number one, and by the way, one more thing about City of Angels, Iggy Pop is not a good actor at all, okay? So, yeah, of course, number one, I mean, what else can you say about the original Crow? Still to this day, one of the most unique films I've ever seen. And I remember when it came out, it was compared to Batman 89, but I think it's almost unfair to even compare it to Batman 89. It feels even far different than that. And I just watched Batman 89 again recently. And The Crow, I was watching it with my wife the other day, and she was just like, wow, this movie is just gorgeous looking. It's escapism. It's one of the most unique looking films ever. And it almost feels black and white. They muted out like everything, you know? And that's in camera. You know, that's not like in post. They had to mute out everything. In camera, everything looks like it's muted out. And, you know, Brandon Lee, thank God they were able to resurrect this film and make it and release it because he still had like 2 weeks of shooting to do. But they decided, you know what, and to honor him, let's finish this movie. What's up, Chester? And so they finished the movie with, funny enough, guys, trivia quiz for you, okay? Who played the stand-in for Brandon Lee after he passed away? Do any of you guys know that? David Thorson. Have you seen the Crow TV series? No, I caught like a little bit of it back in the day, like back in the 90s when it first came out. I might have watched a little bit of it, but yeah, I just could not. It was hard for me to watch anything that's, you know, Eric Draven, especially so soon after Brandon Lee had passed away. Yeah, CJM. Chad Stawalski, who is the director of the John Wick movies, he was Brandon Lee's stand-in in the scenes that they had to finish, which is really interesting. So yeah. But yeah, that's my ranking of the Crow franchise. Yeah. And let me go over and look at some of these questions that I got. Now, I'll answer a couple of these. Is it that one? Yeah, here it is. Okay. So I can close that out. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can answer some of these questions. All right, hold on. So go to news. Okay. Here we go. This is on my Drumdums Extra community page. And I asked you guys if you had any topics you wanted me to discuss quickly. I would be happy to on here. And so let me go over here. Okay, Nuclear Fusion says, great horror video games throughout history and the ones that you loved playing or impacted you the most. Easy answer because I've never been a gamer. I've never played a horror video game. I did do, my gaming history is I played Atari 2600 back when I was a kid. I remember that. And I never even owned one. Actually, I did own one when I joined the military. I bought a used one at a pawn shop. And I used to play like River Raid and, of course, like Pac-Man, stuff like that. Miss Pac-Man. Donkey Kong Jr. was like my favorite game. But I never played any of these modern games, you know. I think part of it's just timing. I don't have the time, and I'm afraid if I got like, I know some of these games, they can really consume your life, and sometimes you have to devote like a whole day to it. Like, my son's into video games, and he definitely has to watch his time management on those things. So, yeah, Charlotte Gore, she says, great horror TV shows. First thing that came to my mind tonight, as I am currently watching From. I haven't watched From yet. I've been meaning to watch that. I've heard good things about it. I'm only 7 episodes into season 1, but I'm loving it so far. Huge recommendation. Haven't seen it. Okay, so yeah, I definitely want to watch From. I didn't even know From was a horror show. I will say, Midnight Mass, the God, what's his name? That show on Netflix, one of the best horror shows I've seen in ages. You guys will tell me the director. I'm drawing a freaking blank. I know who it is too. Damn it, that's gonna drive me crazy now. But yeah, I remember getting scared of Dark Shadows when I was a kid. You know, that used to come on. Yeah, Mike Flanagan. Thank you very much, Carly. Mike Flanagan. That's it. Love Mike Flanagan. Which Mike Flanagan wanted to do Nightmare on Elm Street. He even like put out a tweet for the Craven estate saying he's got a pitch and everything. Why wouldn't they jump at that? You know? That drives me crazy. And that's just because it's owned by Warner Brothers. And I think they're focused on other horror properties like The Conjuring. They don't care about Nightmare on Elm Street. So it sucks, you know? Uncle Chill's neck vein? Wait, what does that say? Uncle, I want to see like Michael in there. Michael's neck vein, but that doesn't say Michael. It says Uncle Chale's neck vein. Okay. React to a Lorna Shore song. I'm scared to do that though, because then they might take because I don't know if Lorna Shore, I'll tell you what, I'll look at a Lorna Shore song like after the stream. Because I've been meaning to listen to them. I know the lead singer of Lorna Shore, he's really into Sleep Token. Like, he says Sleep Token's his favorite band. So, and I've heard some of his live stuff. So I guess technically I have heard a little bit of Lorna Shore. And I like that music. I'm really into heavy music, so, you know. Yeah. Backtrack Cinema, Jason, he says First Blood and how it still stands on its own. Yeah, I mean, if you look at First Blood compared to the rest of the Rambo movies, I think it stands on its own. I think it's much more character driven than the rest of the Rambo movies, which are straight up like action movies. I think the later Rambo, like Rambo 4, is a little bit more character driven. But the first one's definitely more character driven, and it's definitely the best out of the bunch. And it still holds up today very well, very well. And I know Karanver, he left a lot. I'll answer one of these. Oh, and Beth S., she left one too. She says, favorite non-horror soundtracks or scores? Non-horror sound. Well, I'll say, she just recently sent me the 3 O'Clock High score, and it's Tangerine Dream. I freaking love anything by Tangerine Dream. You know, Legend has a great soundtrack by Tangerine Dream. I like the Rocky soundtracks, especially Rocky 4. It's a really good soundtrack. Non-horror. I'm sure there's like so many others, you know. But I love a lot of horror scores for sure. Help me out, guys. Are there any non-horror scores that you absolutely love? I guess you could say like freaking Top Gun. The original Top Gun has a cool score. Over the Top. You know, Kenny Loggins, man, he bounced from freaking movie to movie back then. You know, Footloose. Yeah, Footloose is a really good answer. Footloose has a really great soundtrack. Fan films that no one talks about. That's a tough one because I only really, the only fan films I love are the ones that are kind of high profile. So it's tough for me to pick one that nobody talks about. I wish I had a better answer for you on that one, Beth. But yeah. Karanver says, Okay, I'll answer this one. The question of why the fourth and fifth Indiana Jones movies shouldn't have been made in the first place. Well, I disagree. I like the fourth one. I do. I like the fourth Indiana Jones. I know that's sacrilege. I don't get it, honestly. Like, I don't get why people hate that movie so much when the Indiana Jones movies are almost fantasy to begin with. You know, of course they're adventure movies, but I think the fourth one still, for some reason, it really rubbed people the wrong way when they introduced aliens in there, which I don't know why that bothers people. You know, as long as there's still fun in Indiana Jones action, and you know, I'm not like an Indiana Jones diehard. You know, I think nothing's gonna top Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I like the fourth one. As a matter of fact, I'll even say I kind of like the fourth one better than the third one. And, you know, I've tried the third one quite a few times. It's kind of bland to me. The fifth one is atrocious. Okay. And then last one on this. Movies you hate that everyone else loves. Bacon Pew Pew. Movies I hate that everyone else loves. Well, that's a tough one. I will say, I'll say Respected. I'll say Skinamarink. I'll never, ever, ever, ever put myself through that again. And I know some people, they appreciated it for the highbrow art, I guess that it is. But I hated the movie with a fiery purple passion. So I guess that's my answer on that one. I'm sure there's another answer, though. Matter of fact, I had a movie in my head that I know everybody loves, and I just, like, I can't get it. But I can't think of it right now, so I just wasted your time. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Kevin Riley says, my topic is, what's so special about Paul? By Paul, I mean Annie's boyfriend from Halloween. I mean, Annie dumps Lindsay off on Lori, gives her another kid to watch. She then goes to a locked car, comes back to an unlocked car, gets herself killed. I mean, was he good in bed? Was he hung like a horse? Or was she just hard up? Well, I guess Paul was packing heat. I don't know. I mean, she really I don't know. I mean, she didn't know she was going to get killed, right? She's a young teenager with hormones. I think Paul was probably just like your average boyfriend that she was really into at the time. He wasn't like, you know, freaking Channing Tatum or anything, I don't think. So, that's funny, though. Nobody's ever brought that up. Oh, my Paul. She did write a song about him. I guess that's true. I give you all. Please, oh please. Please, my Paul. She worked hard on that song too. Okay, I can see you guys now. So Carly says she loved Skinamarink. It reminded her of... It definitely has that, you know... I got what they were going for with the childhood trauma. I definitely felt like a lot of it was repetitive, if I'm being honest. Like, it would have been better as a short... You know, because I think that's the thing is, like, I wanted to saw my own head off as I was watching it after I was like an hour in, because I was like, okay, we're seeing the same things over and over and over again. I got to see this phone again. You know, I got to see this freaking top left corner of the wall again. It's just repetitive beyond, it drove me nuts. So, yeah. And Paul was voiced by John Carpenter. That's true. David Thorson says, I don't find The Dark Knight the divine experience it's made out to be. Well, you know, I think all this superhero fatigue has helped me appreciate The Dark Knight more now. It's always been my favorite superhero film ever. Besides The Crow. It's hard for me to put The Crow in that category for some reason. It's just more emotional. But Dark Knight, I think it works so well because, again, it's very emotional. You know, Batman loses a lot in that movie, but also the Joker, you know, Heath Ledger's performance, I think, is amazing. And, you know, I don't think we have anything like The Dark Knight these days. So I love The Dark Knight. It's definitely my favorite all-time superhero film ever. But I guess I get why some people don't like it, you know? And I remember when it first came out, there were people that hated the movie. Not too many, but there were some that came, you know, I think it's just like some things just don't click for people. You know, we all have different brains, and sometimes things click more for some than they do for others. I think that's just all that is, you know. It wasn't, it didn't get your ghost, right? So, yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Did I forget anything? I think that's it. Yeah. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I knew this wasn't going to be like the normal DDLive, but I tried to make it but I really wanted to devote a lot of time to the Indiegogo to try to beef this up, because I want to get this thing funded. It's going to be a great film, okay? It's going to be a really great Crow fan film. I don't really know of any other Crow fan films. I'm sure there are, but I want this to make a mark, okay? I really do. So thank you guys for stopping by. If you can, pitch in, try to help out. And I'm going to be doing more of these too quite often, because I'm trying to put content out on the Drumdums Extra channel. So I'll be looking to you guys for more topics and whatnot. But thank you to those who did, like Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte, for submitting that topic on the Drumdums Extra page. I appreciate that. So anyway, guys, Friday night? Go have a good time on your Friday night. I think I'm going to go to a restaurant and get me some hot, disgusting food, okay? Because I'm starving right now. Very, very hungry. And I'm in the mood for chicken wings, all right? Chicken wings sound amazing, okay? Thank you, Erica. I appreciate that. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Love you guys. It's always hard saying goodbye. Okay. Love you guys. I'm going to go eat. Thank you, Carly. Carly.